I love to come up north to go fishing. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, a lot of these places up here. You know, this part of the country has such great bass fishing, and the kind of fish I was catching today are a prime example of it. That lake that we fished on, Lake Winneconne, it's, to me, that water, it was like 61 or 2 when we put the boat in this morning. I saw it was warm as 63 or 4 throughout the day. To me, those fish are definitely in a fall, you know, a fall type pattern. And when I looked at the map, the first place that caught my eye was the bridge right beside where we took off from. And I went over and looked around it, and I was gonna fish there. I was like, I want to run up here to this other river and look at it, because those were the only places that it was obvious on the map where you had some depth, where you had, you know, where those fish are gonna end up wintering, because that's something that we don't deal with a lot where I live. Those fish go to someplace deep to winter, and I feel like this time of the year they're already starting that transition into those type places. It was kind of just steady, you know. I caught a couple real quick, and I caught my biggest fish actually right off the bat. You know, there this morning, my second fish was over 4. And yeah, I think I had 5 the first period, 4 the second, and 4 the third. So it was just, you know, I'd hit a little spurt. Some of those times, 2 of those fish might come on nearly back-to-back casts. But it was just about keeping a bait wet in high productive, you know, high percentage areas, and was able to get a fair number of bites throughout the day. It started off, the first fish I caught was on a buzz bait. Next one I caught flipping. I'd missed another bite there on a buzz bait, but it was near the mouth of a river where that river dumped into the lake. And, you know, fishing, you know, kind of textbook river stuff, outside bend type stuff. But I got to noticing, especially as the day went on, I didn't catch them where the current was hitting the hardest necessarily. But if you could find something where it bumped into something hard, where there was a piece of wood or it made a real hard little shelf, those places were good. And then I was also able to catch some fish punching up in the day. Any kind of little mats that were, again, near those places where it had an edge and it had a break, but it was never where the current was really ripping the hardest. It had to be kind of off of it just a little bit. Primarily caught them on 2 things. A Bass Pro Bull Hog, which is a creature style bait, black blue flake was my primary deal. And I caught some on that on a 3/8 ounce weight on fluorocarbon, 20-pound Bass Pro XPS fluorocarbon, kind of on the outside edges of stuff, or pitching it, you know, at a harder cover. And then I had the same bait rigged up on a 3/4 ounce weight to flip into mats, and that was another main deal. But the other bait was a worm. It was a Bass Pro Magnum Finneck worm, which is a big straight tail worm, like a 6.5 inch, but fairly bulky. And it's like a purple brown is the color of that. And I had it just on a 3/16 ounce sinker, a 3/0 heavy duty worm hook. And that probably accounted for more of my fish and more of my weight. I had some more opportunities with that that I just didn't get in the boat. But that was a really, really important deal. I landed on them in this one today. I need to land on them again in my sudden death round. Well, sounds like we won us a round anyway, so I'll definitely take that any day of the week. These things are not, it don't matter which round it is, they're not easy to win, so I will take a win to get this week started in Wisconsin.